All right, let's get right into the news that pretty much nobody saw coming. For 3 decades, he's been a singer, a global TV star, and maybe most famously, South Korea's most eligible bachelor. But in the summer of 2025, everything changed. Today, we're going to break down the wedding announcement that sent an entire nation into a state of absolute, joyful chaos.
And this is how he did it. This is how he broke the news. Not with some stuffy, formal press release, but with this line right here. This witty, charming, and super personal quote in a letter to his fans. I mean, it's just so him, right? A guy who spent 30 years focused on his career, finally admitting that he's been working on his biggest project yet, his own happiness.
Yep, you heard that right. After 30 years in the public eye, a journey that started when he was just a teenager, the man they call Kpop is officially off the market. This is the moment fans have been waiting for, joking about, and let's be honest, a moment some probably thought would never actually happen.
So, how did this bombshell really drop? Well, it wasn't leaked by the tabloids or announced by some big agency. Nope. The reveal was as unique as the man himself, and it all started with a single piece of paper.
He posted a handwritten letter directly to his fan cafe. Now just think about that for a second. In this age of slick PR teams and managed social media, he chose the most old-school, intimate way to tell the people who've been with him for 3 decades. He even said he was more nervous than he expected, which just made the whole thing feel so much more real and sincere.
And the wedding itself? It's going to be exactly like the announcement, personal and private. He's planning a small ceremony in Seoul, no big media circus, no massive spectacle. It's just for his family and his closest friends. You know, for a guy who lives his life so publicly, keeping this one day for himself, well, that speaks volumes.
Okay, but here's the best part. He was dropping hints all along. Back in May, it came out that he'd bought this fancy apartment in Gangnam. And when he got teased about it on his show, My Ugly Baby, did he deny it? Nope. He just playfully hinted that, yeah, it could be a newlywed home. He was basically winking at all of us the entire time, and we just thought it was the usual joke.
Now, to really, truly understand why this is such earth-shattering news, you have to understand the man himself. You have to get the larger-than-life persona he's built over the last 30 years.
First off, let's just put this number out there. 49. At 49 years old, being single wasn't just a personal detail for him. It was a huge part of his public identity. In a culture where marriage is a pretty significant milestone, being a nearly 50-year-old bachelor made him a total outlier, and a really, really famous one. So on TV, especially on the massive global hit Running Man, he's known as the Tiger or Kpop. Why? Because the guy is an absolute machine. He's fiercely competitive, ridiculously strong, and his dedication to the gym is legendary. He is, simply put, the capable one who can do just about anything.
But this is what makes him so fascinating. On screen, he's this intense, muscular competitor, the Tiger. But in his real life, he has this squeaky clean, almost unbelievably wholesome reputation. Everyone knows him as incredibly hardworking, fiercely loyal to his friends, and completely devoted to his mother. It's that contrast that people just love. So how exactly did being unmarried become more than just a fact about his life? Well, it pretty much became his entire public identity, a running gag, and a source of endless fascination for everyone. For years and years, TV shows created these playful, on-screen romances for him called love lines. You know, whether it was that legendary will they won't they thing with actress Yoon Eun-hye, or his bickering but sweet chemistry with his Running Man co-star Song Ji-hyo, the public loved it. They ate it up, always wondering if one of these fake romances might actually turn real. And that really is the key here. Being single was his brand. On shows like Running Man and My Ugly Baby, his friends, his castmates, even his own mom were constantly nagging him about getting married. It became this beloved national running joke. He was like the nation's favorite uncle that everyone just wanted to see settle down. Which brings us to the biggest question of all. Why? Why did one man's wedding news cause such a massive, nationwide celebration? Why do so many people care so deeply about this? So let's really dig into it. What is the obsession all about? Because it's way more than just celebrity gossip. It taps into something much deeper, something about our connection to the people we invite into our homes through our screens every week.
I think it's because this feels like a win for everyone. For a lot of people, he's a symbol of hope, proof that it's never too late to find your person. And because of that hard-working, scandal-free image, his happiness feels earned. It feels deserved. He's been on our TVs for so long, he feels like part of the family. And now, it's like our favorite uncle is finally getting his happy ending. It's just a pure, feel-good story.
And just look at this journey. It's been 30 years, from his debut with that high-energy group Turbo to a huge solo career, all the way to becoming a global icon on Running Man. He's been a constant in so many people's lives. And for this marriage to happen in his 30th anniversary year, it just feels so perfect, like the storybook ending to one chapter and the perfect beginning of the next.
So, the big question on everyone's mind is what comes next? Is married life going to tame the tiger?
Well, if you want to understand his future, you have to remember his past wasn't always a walk in the park. Back in his early days with Turbo, the schedules were so brutal that members would literally collapse from exhaustion. This is a guy who has worked incredibly hard and overcome some major hurdles, which tells you he's got the drive to make this next chapter a success too. And for any fans worried he might slow down, don't be. In his letter, he made this promise right here. It seems like marriage isn't a finish line for him. It's just a new source of fuel. The Energy King, as they call him, is not going anywhere.
And honestly, I think this comment from a fan just sums up how the entire nation feels. It's funny, it's sweet, and it perfectly captures the spirit of the guy they've been cheering on for 30 long years.
And that kind of leaves us with one final thought. In a world that can feel pretty divided sometimes, the story of Kim Jong-kook's wedding brought pure, uncomplicated joy to millions of people. And maybe that's a powerful reminder that at the end of the day, sometimes all we really want is to see a good person get a happy ending.